Hey folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's intraday analysis video brought to you by the creators of proprietary price, pattern, and time methodology. Learn the PPT strategies and profit for life. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. All right, guys, what a day in the markets today. Markets have been pounded down. We made new lows, taking out yesterday's lows, and the markets have just recovered. This is all off of the back of Cyprus, such a small country, basically the size of population of San Diego, California, and really what you kind of got today was this negative. I mean, here they announced this bank levy yesterday to tax depositors, anyone over 100,000 euros at 9.9%, anyone under around the 6% plus range, and that was a negative that sold the markets yesterday. Today there was talk about whether or not that would get rejected, because it still had to be voted on in Parliament, and actually it just got rejected. The markets are upticking a little bit. In the short term, this saves the day, but I stress short term because the logical outcome, if they reject this bailout by saying no to the levy on these bank accounts, on these depositors, is default. So there's really no win-win situation here. There's no win-lose scenario. It's lose-lose. Now, the markets just in the short term like this, and again, that's why they're popping up. But you watch, the markets are going to start to get a little worried about the fact that they rejected it, because now it means the logical course of action is defaulting. And guess what happens when you default in the Eurozone? You get booted out of the Euro. And once one country leaves, folks, that's the worry of the markets. The markets are going to say, okay, one country left. Now what's to stop Greece from leaving? What's to stop Portugal, Spain, Italy, all these countries just cascading out, and the euro could collapse if that did happen. Crazy stuff, folks. Absolutely nutty to think about the implications. So really, it's a no-win situation. The markets are bouncing here a little bit because mainly the markets are saying, okay, in the short term, that default isn't happening, therefore they're not getting kicked out of the euro. Plus, it leaves the small opportunity for a deal to be worked out, which I think the markets are hoping for. So maybe to save the eurozone, Germany will back down from this tax on depositors and so forth. All right, it's going to be an interesting next few days. The volatility continues. Having said that, we just took some profits on our short calls and nailed some other big ones. Let's take a look at some of the short calls out here that we nailed. First off, OXY, guys. What a beautiful fall here. This was a classic in spirit of bearish pattern right here. Love this chart off of this deep fall. We went short right in this area, and look at the fall today. It hit first and second targets. First and second targets nailed. We took about just underneath 5% on this trade on the fall. If you were in this trade in about a week and a half, you just banked 5% on it. A beautiful call out there. Another call I had, and this comes back to where I was saying to our members that the likely scenario would be a pullback just prior to the S&P hitting all-time highs, because all the analysts were telling us that we were going to all-time highs. Anytime the analysts say anything, it's the opposite. Always remember that. When there's a consensus on CNBC from everyone out there, chances are they'll be all wrong. And that's what I went on, basically, all right? I knew the markets were extended. The charts were telling me a pullback was coming in. And I said to my members, it's not going to be a big pullback here. We're just going to have a small pullback. Be ready for it. Let's play with some SDS. We went long the SDS because it's 2 times short the S&P 500. Just prior to those all-time highs, we came within basically 1% of that. And all of a sudden, bam, to the downside, the markets went. The SDS soared. Guess where I took profits today? Right here. Okay? Right there. That's a beautiful sell on SDS. Look at it come back in here. And the beauty is, in and out. Rinse and repeat. We just want to use and abuse these stocks for our profit's sake. All right, I don't care if it's an ETF. I don't care if it's a stock. I don't care if it's Microsoft. I don't care if it's Apple. I'm in and out for a swing trade. I'm holding for a few days, a week or two, and my members are profiting nonstop here, and we'll continue to do this. When the right patterns come up, I don't care if I'm going long or short, as long as the chart is telling me what to do. Chart tells me what to do. I play it beautifully, and that's exactly what we do. So that's exactly what happened here, guys. Great job for our members, as again, we have some beautiful plays out there. I still have a couple short positions out there. EMC, beautifully in the money. EMC was shorted right up in this range, pulling back. We're in the money by about 40 cents, make that 40 cents. So a nice little move there. Mental break-even stop from me on EMC at this stage of the game. And IBM just down 40 cents, coming off this blow-off top. Beautiful little pullback right there. So I have a little exposure left on the short side, but to be honest, I'm looking for the long side possibly now. All right, that's what I'm starting to look for. So we'll see again how it all trades out. Made some money on the short side. Now let's look at the long side. Let's try to capture some good gains here. I have some small caps that I'm starting to eye very, very carefully here for some big moves up. I think they could be very, very profitable. And again, I will give them out to the research center here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. Again, that's InTheMoneyStocks.com. 7-day free trial to the research center. If you're a swing trader or an investor, that's where you need to be. That's where you're getting these calls, these live calls, time-stamped. You're going to get them, and you're going to profit with us. This is based off proprietary methodology. We'll teach you this methodology. It's doable. Anyone can learn it. As they say, even a caveman can learn it. All right, going back to the spiders, guys. Market, again, having a good bounce off the lows here. We are pulling back just a little bit, though. Nice little pullback. Remember, as I said, even though the markets are getting a bid here, I don't view this as a long-term positive. All right, because, again, if they're going to default and they get kicked out of the Eurozone, well, what's to stop Greece from saying, hey, listen, they left and they're doing okay now because they're printing their own currency. They're printing their own money like the Federal Reserve. Why don't we do that? And before you know it, a collapse occurs as one of the next dominoes just keeps falling over and over. So it's going to be interesting to see where this market ends today. I'm very, very curious myself. I prefer to see a move up since I covered some of my shorts. Get us up, get us a new entry if we see the market that's going to fall, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, a couple other stocks today. The only stock I've ever been bullish on over the last 2 weeks that I thought had a chance to go up was Apple, and that was a perfect call as well. My level 2 buy Apple was right here. This is where I gave it to members, time-stamped in the research center, which is part of the, which inside the hot charts and alerts, which again is part of the research center. That was where it was. Look at that entry. Look at what Apple's done. All right, I have been bearish on pretty much any other stock out there. Don't like any other stock except Apple. Every analyst out there hates Apple. When they all hate it, I love it. I just read the chart and it tells me where to buy, and I'm in, and we're reaping the rewards, moving up. And even today with the markets doing what they're doing, it's down $2.93. Come off beautifully. I think this is going higher, to be honest. Now, it did kiss the 50 MA on the daily, so I mean that's going to be resistance. But in any case, I actually think there's a good chance it gets through that on the next leg up. And I think it's actually going to go, there's a chance it goes here, and there's even, believe it or not, folks, there's even a chance it goes all the way up to this gap fill up here. That's above 500, folks. There is a chance it goes all the way up to that area. That would be a sweet trade. I mean, if you're holding and it goes from 420 to 520, I mean, that is one hell of a trade. $100 gain on Apple. Wow. All right, so that's what we have going on there. Baidu's taking a hit today, down $1.37. A little bit of a bounce off the lows as the markets are getting a bounce, but this stock, again, is in breakdown territory, folks. You can see it right here. Let me just remove that line. This is the bottom one you want to focus on right here. That's in breakdown territory. You don't want to go near that on the long side. I don't think I'd short it yet either because it's had such a steep sell-off, but definitely not something you want to be messing around with on the long side. BlackBerry's down. Amazon's down. Amazon keeps collapsing. This was a beautiful failed bearish pattern. Take a look right, failed bullish pattern. Here was your bullish pattern right here. It failed. Anytime you have a failed pattern, expect a reversal in the opposite direction pretty substantially, and that's exactly what happens. The level of support I gave out was right here. It pierced it right there. It's gotten a little bit of a bounce back above that. Great level there. Next level on this, which eventually it will hit, is the 200 moving average. All right, very nice there on that stock. Google's trading up a couple bucks. Good bounce on Google short term. Goldman and JPM are both under pressure. Bank stocks, because of the Cyprus mess, are under pressure. Remember, a lot of these banks have a lot of exposure in Europe. So, I mean, if stuff gets crazy there and there's bank runs and there could be other issues like that, there's definitely risk of contagion even in the U.S. banks. So I think that's why you're seeing a little bit of a sell-off here as the market continues to trade to the downside today. Beautiful little downside move. Let me just take a look. Spiders again. You know, they've bounced off their lows. They're back above the 20 MA. There is some possibility you'll get up to the 50 MA. I'd short the 50 like hell, though. Take a look at that. The 50 MA, pivot low, pivot low. I mean, that's a beautiful retrace right there. If you could get a pop into that, that's a good intraday shorting level. All right. As a swing trade, I don't think I just short it as a swing trade, obviously, as I think the markets possibly do reach all-time highs on the S&P and actually go a little bit higher. I still have a prospective ultimate target on the Dow of around 15,000, but like I said, if I have a prospective target of 15,000, doesn't mean I can't short intra move and make money on that side too. I mean, the key is to never be a bull or a bear, perma-bull, I should say perma-bull or perma-bear. It's to just go with whatever the charts are telling you. If the chart's telling you the market's going to fall for a few days, why wouldn't you want to make money on that side of the trade? And then just reverse it and go long and go back and forth. I mean, you can make literally over 100% return in your portfolio every single year if you trade properly. I mean, that's what the swing trade alerts are helping people do. It's crazy. Swing trade alerts, which are in the research center, and you can get them here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. So come join us, guys. Rock and roll. Great day. Profits galore. Perfect calls. And let's make some more money this afternoon into tomorrow. Come join us here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. Take the 7-day free trial to the Research Center if you're a swing trader or an investor. If you're a day trader, we welcome you to the Intra Day Stock Chat. Take care.